Hey everybody, happy Monday. Isn't it funny? I actually feel like I haven't spoken to you guys in ages, and I don't even know when the last time I went live was. Maybe it was Thursday? I don't know. Anyway, hi, welcome to Monday. Monday's the coffee run. Super excited. Hey Tamara, welcome. So great to see you. Happy Monday. What I wanted to chat with you guys about today is some of my latest thinking, which I think is really exciting. I feel a little bit like a musician or a recording artist. I want to let you know a little bit about my latest single. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk with you about is like this thing that I've been really writing about. Hey, Rebecca, great to see you. Stuff that I've been writing about over the weekend, which has been about leaving it all on the field. Hey, Joe, good morning. Oh, well, it's good afternoon. Why do I keep saying good morning? I'm so used to doing this, obviously, in the morning because the coffee run. You'll be pleased to know that I have coffee in hand and I will endeavor to not speak like I'm on a caffeine high. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is a little bit of some insight into some realizations that I've had over the last week, but particularly before I roll into that, I wanted to let you know a little bit about what is happening in May. So in May, I had originally scheduled a 3-day event with a bonus fourth day being a mastermind day for some VIPs. And you guys know that I talk a lot about alignment. I talk a lot about working in your zone of genius. I talk about, delivering the content and what you do in a way that really works for you and in a way that resonates for you, not trying to do it like me, not trying to be like me or anybody else in your industry or anywhere else that you kind of look and follow and watch, stalk. But the thing is like I've been feeling this resistance to talking about it, which is really kind of weird because I run these events for years. They're a lot of fun. They're so transformational. And I just hadn't been feeling really particularly jazzed about it. And so I did some contemplation about it. I did some thinking about it. I did some journaling about it. And it's just like, no, I can't run it in the way that I want to be able to run it. So I decided to change it up. And I am so excited about it. So I've called this thing, it's called Champagne Supernova. And it is a 2-day retreat where you are completely looked after through the day by me and our team. And we're in a beautiful, luxurious penthouse for a couple of days. You get to go and stay where it is that you choose so that you can integrate and, be in your own space. But essentially throughout the day, you've got this whole retreat kind of feeling style of immersion. Now, if you imagine that you're going to get your learning, it's only in a group of 12, absolutely maximum we're 15. It's not like one of those big room events where you can kind of get absorbed up in the throes of what everybody else is doing, or you don't actually get that personalization. So if you're really excited about deepening your thinking, you know that you need to get some help with, the marketing and your manifestation and all of that type of stuff. But really, what I found super exciting about this is when I started kind of building it out, I had that kind of feeling, like you guys probably have felt this before, is where you've got that whoosh from your base chakra, so like right at that bottom chakra, right going up through your whole entire body, and your core kind of goes like, that's the word for tensing. And it's just like, woo, exactly, like, I don't know how you write that, I don't know how you spell that, but it feels fucking amazing. Like just that whoosh of like, yes, this is going to be freaking awesome and freaking amazing. And I hadn't felt that for the last probably 4 months since I've been wanting to promote Visible Live. So what I decided with this whole 2-day thing is it's still going to be massively transformational. It's going to be badass, of course, because, you know, it will be. But it's just a different way of being able to really tap into each person there, expand your thinking, and, you know, essentially create your intellectual property for the whole entire year, which is really freaking awesome. So it's not this just, you know, scratching the surface. You've got to go and buy another program to, you know, blah, 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 blah. None of that. No pitching, none of that. Just fully immersed for 2 whole days on the Gold Coast in a luxury penthouse. I call it my penthouse, and the hotel refers it to my room. It's my room. So it's just, yeah, really awesome. I'm so excited. If you want to learn more, you can go in here. There's ridiculously generous payment plans. And it's obviously going to be a really tight group of people, right? Because that's the nature of this style of thing. Intimate, powerful, transformative, and just really freaking amazing. So I wanted to let you know about that. Much like a musician would drop their latest single, this is the latest thing that that I've created to set your world on fire in a really good way, and your content on fire, and your core on fire, like a really good freaking ab workout. So what I wanted to kind of chat you through is, as a result of making these decisions. So this is a really hard decision to make. I think it's a really hard decision. Well, maybe it's not a hard decision. Maybe that's just a story. Sometimes it can feel like it's a hard decision to make a change to something that you've committed to doing, to dropping something, to going, you know what, actually, no, that's not, it doesn't feel like the best way that I could be doing things. And particularly when there's, you know, other people involved, there can be that feeling and that sense of obligation around, right, well, I've said I'm going to do this, so now I have to deliver it. But here's the thing, you are the driver, right? You are the bus driver, you're the GPS programmer, you are the person. You can always make new decisions. You can always make new choices, and people will either come along for the ride or they won't, and that's totally fine, whatever it is that they choose to do. But you can always make new decisions. There is nothing, particularly in business, that you have to do just because you decided at some point in the past that you were going to do things in a certain way. So that's kind of how this came about. But it was kind of tough. And then communicating that with people around the choices and the decisions that had been made was, you know, kind of interesting as well. But, you know, you just really, first of all, you've got to own it. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about with this whole setting your core on fire. So over the last couple of days and this morning, I've been talking about leaving it all on the field. Now, I train for roller derby. And my choice last year, the decision that I made was I want to be competition ready come February, actually. So I set this goal to be comp ready in February, which means that I've got to be strong, I've got to be really grounded, I've got to be powerful. You know, I've got all of these things because it's a team sport, right? And you can't afford to get out on the track and let down your teammates because we won't get named on a team. Number two, it just doesn't work that way. You'd let the whole team down. So so that was that. And then the first game is in March. So the first game is this month, the first competitive game. And I knew that I was going to be overseas. So I'm heading overseas next week. Yay! Or the week after. I don't know. It feels like it should be next week. Is it next week? When am I going away? Yeah, next week, next Thursday. So I'm going away, and I'm away for the first competition round. So there's a round, there's 8 rounds in regional and city locations, and we've got to travel and la la la. And I'm overseas for the first one. So I was like, oh, excuse me. It was a little bit like, oh, okay, well, I've got another month to kind of get ready. And I settled into this sort of, I don't need to work as hard at, building up the strength in my body. I don't need to do this, I don't need to do that. I've got another month, blah, blah, blah. And that's actually really unhelpful. So these are some of the other realizations that I've had over the last week. And that is, if everything is a mirror And if everything kind of interrelates and correlates with everything, I'm like, wow, well, if I was doing that in roller derby, where else have I not been giving it my all? And this is the thing, right? I mean, if you imagine, so in roller derby, you've got, if I'm a jammer, like my job would be to get through some blockers. So if you imagine like rugby, you know, like big, like people and in a wall, and my job is to try and get past those people and therefore to be able to get around the track and to be able to score points. So if I'm hesitant, or if I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go through there, or I don't know if I'm going to go through there, or if I'm indecisive, which can which can happen at different times, right? Because your head gets in the way. It's like, oh no, you know, I'll just go around here, or, you know, rah, rah, rah. And whilst I'm probably giving, I would say like 80% of me in training when we're practicing this stuff, I know that I'm not just kind of like playing flat out, playing full out. And then there was this realization, well, if I'm doing it there, where else am I doing it? Am I doing it with my health? Well, I know that there are times where I will feast my face with sugar, which is unhelpful, even though I'm 95% of the time sugar-free, right? Because I think that that's really helpful for my body and the way that my body works and for how I want to feel and how I want my brain to feel when I wake up in the morning. It's like, am I doing this in relationships? And then the big one for me was, have I been doing this in business? Hey, Jones. And the truth of the matter is, yes, I have not been playing full out, leaving everything on the field on a daily basis, like day in, day out. I have not been doing that. Yes, I've been getting up, I've been turning up, you know, and I do my best in that moment, but it's not something that I felt all through the day. So what I want to do with you is take you through a little bit of an exercise, because why the heck not? So what I want you to do is breathe in for a moment, and I want you to squeeze your tummy muscles really, really hard so that they're all, when you're breathing in, they go like nice and contracted. And then I want you to breathe out without letting those stomach muscles go, right? And then breathe in and contract them more. And then squish them really hard while you breathe out. And hold that there. Now, while you've got that core really activated and your stomach muscles are like really nice and tight and you're breathing still, right? But you've engaged your whole core. What I want you to do is open up your journal. Not now, but later. Open up your journal and start writing what it is that you decide from a real place of like, boom, that's that. Tomorrow, you know, when I was talking about Champagne Supernova, it was like that, right? It's like I started writing about it, and I wrote the sales page, and I've got the whole thing mapped out. It was like, like this is how it felt. But in my journal, I'd written about what it was that I was deciding, and my decisions were, I will play full out every single freaking day. I will leave everything on the field. It's like you doing physio, right? There is no way that you're going to not give it your all. It's like, I imagine, I was reading about another analogy, was Lady Gaga going to audition after audition after audition, getting knocked back. And I'm like, well, you can't keep going to audition after audition after audition and, you know, not get anything. No, I was thinking if it was me, I would feel kind of reserved going to an audition, maybe. You know, this is how I imagine it. It's like if I was going on stage, you know, you guys get everything from me. But in an audition, I would feel like I had to prove something, so I might not go full out with the way that I would embrace the character and embrace the performance and, you know, do what it was that I needed to do. And I'm like, well, fuck that. Because if I'm not going to go on that stage and give it my all, then, you know, how the heck am I going to be able to deliver on the performance, right? It wouldn't even happen. So for me, it's kind of like, well, if your marketing, if your lives, if your business development, if your content creation, if everything that you're doing, if you're mentoring, you're training, everything requires you to stand out, be seen, be heard, all of that type of stuff, then it needs you. All of that stuff needs you to be like fully engaged and be prepared to make a fool of yourself if that's what happens. It's like, it doesn't matter, it's fine. It requires you to play full out. It requires you to step out onto that field and give it your all. It's a bit like Brené Brown talks about when I think it was in The Power of Vulnerability, she talks about stepping into the arena and being okay with falling face down in the dirt, but you're not alone in there. You've got to get back up, dust yourself off and get back up. Fall down, that's fine. Dust yourself off and get back up. I haven't had this feeling, like this feeling for quite some time. Actually, I've been excited about what I've done, and I've had glimpses of it through the day, right? And I've had glimpses of it at various different times. But to really be able to go like, and get into that state is really freaking powerful. And that's the state. That's that energetic state that you're able to then turn on at any point in time and go, right, I'm going to go do a live now. Hang on, like, make sure I'm breathing, because otherwise you'll turn bright red and pass out, which, maybe that's you giving it your all and leaving it all on the field. I don't know. But you've got to be willing to go all in. And this is about going all in on you, going all in and embracing that inner fire, turning that core on fire and being able to go, bang, this is who I am. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm about. Now, the other thing that I've kind of been, thinking about over the last few days is, like, you guys know that I'm all about alignment, and I want to be able to feel like the message that needs to come through comes through, and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, I guess some people call that flow, or some people call that intuition. Now, for me, one of the things was, well, you know what, if we're looking at flow, intuition, they kind of feel like soft and flowy type things. And maybe I need to be in a softer state in order for that to come through. Now, that's not actually true, quite obviously. It's so funny. So I go to pump class, right, at the gym. And I remember actually, and this happened in derby training actually over the last couple of days as well. I used to do squats, but I didn't actually feel it in, the anchoring of your feet going down through the floor. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that. And I was just kind of doing my squats for years and years and years. And then this one time I've just gone, oh, someone said something, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And I planted my feet like they had tree trunks coming out the bottom. It's like, oh, there's that feeling, right, bang. Yesterday afternoon, I took roller derby training, and there was something that we were doing, and it just really kind of anchored in our bodies. Oh, that's what we need to do. So sometimes you do actually need to experience the physical feeling in you, even if we're talking about energy, right? In order for your brain to go, oh, that's the thing that we need to tap into in order to be able to do it. Now, flow and intuition can still be fierce. It can still be, tight. It can still be core driven. It can still be like, rah. It doesn't have to be. Some days it will be a bit more soft and flowy and gentle and whatever. But if you're trusting that you can tap into that real feeling of certainty, that feeling of groundedness, so that you can actually get out and do the thing that you need to do, communicate with the people that you're here to communicate with, and really just freaking go for it. That is what is going to make you stand out. That is what is going to make you be visible. That is what's going to make you be heard, essentially, by the right people. We don't want to talk to everybody. Number one, it's exhausting. And number two, it's going to be irrelevant to everybody. So your job, in my humble opinion, is to do whatever you can do to be able to tap in to that very essence of you, so that you can then go, bang, I'm going to go out and treat your Facebook Lives like you're auditioning. Treat your Facebook Lives like you're going out and you're playing that freaking championship. Go out and assume that you are fighting for the position on the team. right? And you can't leave anything behind. You've got to give it your all. You have to give it your all, because otherwise, what's the alternative? The alternative is that your audience don't hear you. The people that are hanging to work with you don't see you, don't connect with you, whatever, and they'll go buy from someone else that is probably not as good a fit as what you would have been for them. So do what you need to do to be able to do that. There was lots of do's in there. Do what you need to, do what you can in order for you to be able to show up and tap into that state, tap into that power, because that's when you are going to feel like you're an expert. That is when you are going to feel like you're leading. That is when you're going to feel like, you know what, come hell or high water, I'm going to fucking own this. I'm going to make the team. I'm going to do this stuff. I'm going to make it freaking happen, and come what may. But you've got to decide it first. So in your journal, when you are writing out what you're deciding and what you're claiming and who you're going to be, then activate that core, do that breath work that we did right at the start, and then start writing it out. Some of the things that I wrote in my diary this week, my journal this weekend, were, you know, I'm a winner, I am on the team. Now, just because you're a winner doesn't mean that other people can't win. Just because you win that audition doesn't mean that other people aren't going to get the parts that they want, right? But if you know that you are the best person for that job and you are the right person to be talking to your audience, and you know that you have got a message that they need to hear, then you've got to be willing to play full out. Otherwise, you're just not going to be seen and you're not going to be remembered. And you might make it into one of those stats where, like, I think it's 95% of people are not in business after 2 years, which I think is really fucking devastating. And it's usually because they have not just gone and left everything out on the field, right? So that's my little sermon for Monday, my kick-assy sermon for Monday. Oh, look, we have a dog inside. She must have heard me ranting, and she came on in to see what the heck was going on. So there we go. And the other thing that I think that's really important about this, and this is something that some of the stuff that we'll be going through in the 2 days Champagne Supernova as well, event, retreat thing, is we're going to be looking at how you can really kind of capture that and use it for positioning, really guiding into that energy that you need to step into rather than up to, but step into in order for you to maximize your positioning, maximize your intellectual property creation, and actually then start looking at the different platforms that are really important in order for you to be able to communicate this message out there. So no more hiding, no more playing it safe, no more trepidation, just making it fucking happen, all right? Whew, excitement for a Monday. I haven't felt this fired up in a really long time. So I trust that that has been helpful for you. Let me know your biggest takeaway from today, because I trust that it's been helpful for you too. If you want to come along to our Champagne Supernova luxury retreat on the Gold Coast in May, the link and a bit of information is in the comment, and you can go over and have a look. But any questions about anything, let me know. And most importantly, get out there, go help some people, make it all happen, and get visible. Your audience are waiting for you, I promise. Have a really awesome Monday, everybody, and I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow.